Welcome back, everybody, to Satisfactory, and today we have a lot of catching up to do because between live stream and a play session with my buddy here who's taking a break, I've gotten a lot done. As you can see, we have the 100 cable, we have the 1,000 smart plates. We actually have smart plates a little backed up right now. I might want to direct those into a container real quick. There we go. So those are now being directed into a container. That's literally all of this is done. As you can see, we have a blueprint maker over here. That's going to be the focus of today's episode. We'll get back to that. So the first episode we did, we basically got the biomass set up. We got like concrete set up. We got, don't look at that over there, set up. We got all the basic needs set up, right? Well, as you can see, the biomass is gone because we have coal power now. We have concrete right there. We're producing anywhere between 900 and 1,200 megawatts right now, depending on efficiencies over there. But as you can see, we're backing up a lot of stuff because this ran overnight. We are completely done with this phase, tier 0 through 4. So we've gotten the blueprint maker, we've gotten up to Mark III belts, we've gotten steel production, the tower platforms, the hypertubes, coal power, vehicle transport. I think y'all saw the vehicle transport. Did I do that? I might have done that on stream. Now I don't remember. We got the Xeno Zappers, which obviously I haven't built yet because it's still got this thing. Now what I did on stream is I took what we had already made. I used the splitters and stuff. So we actually have like a miner into a splitter, into all of the different production lines. As you can see, everything is backed up because like I said, servers are awesome. Everything runs overnight. So we have full containers everywhere except for our assemblers. But those are pretty good and full. Oh, that one's not. I probably need to shut this one down. I don't... Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. We do have some modular frames. But I am going to shut down that assembler, so we're not just building a bunch of versatile frames at the moment. I know we'll need them in the future. Yes, we're done with phase 2. We're going to be moving on to phase 3, but that's not my focus of this episode. You might see a clip of it at the end of this episode, or you might see it at the beginning of the next episode. Kind of depends. I want to make sure that my buddy's online when we do it, so we can both see the transformation together, because it's nothing that neither one of us has seen before. We have a Seder production that's not currently producing anything. We have this is spaghetti, just crazy spaghetti everywhere right now. This is something we're going to be fixing over time. We have a coal line coming in from a pure coal node that he found and brought back. And then another pure iron. And then this is all of our steel. And then he doubled it last night by putting Mark II miners on those. So we got a lot of steel production going on. And then up here we have, I believe, encased. I don't know how many we have. Well, we have a decent amount. Not bad. Not bad for like the inefficiencies that we're doing. So that's kind of where I want to focus on blueprints and making blueprints and testing out some of our blueprints that we've already made by wiping out at least that back half over there. That half of it. That from there over. And testing out our modules that we've made. And then possibly fixing this too. Now our plan is to build a central factory and run everything into the central factory. And instead of an old series that I did where I was trying to build a bunch of little factories and then ship all of the final products into one central location, this is having the central factory and have all the ore shipped in to where we're going. So I'm going to run back down to the blueprint maker. I'm going to make a couple more blueprints so that won't take too long. and then I'll kind of explain what we have going on as well. All right, so I'm back over at our blueprint area here, and what we have here is what we're calling just an empty pod. This is kind of what we're starting with to start our production line and everything. So this is what we started with. Like, we built our smelter thing, and then from there we took everything off of it and just left this. That way I can paste this down right next to this one, and so on and so on. So like that wall will go in the right spot and whatnot. The floor, we've done all the colors and everything. So this floor color right here will be like where most of the conveyors are running. So there'll be one here, and there'll be one on each side of each section. And there'll be one back behind the first one as well. So like the first one is the smelter. So let me show you the smelters. So I'm going to load a blueprint. So this is what we just call the smelting stack times 3. It'll get fed in from the back and then fed down through the floor. As you notice, we don't have conveyors coming out because that way we can kind of direct it where we want to go, because we haven't fully decided exactly how it's going to go. Some of them might go this way, some of them might go back to that back bus. We haven't decided yet. We have a ladder on each one so we can access up and down, especially early game, and we've color coded everything. I even tried to color code the power lines, but then when I tried to fix them, yeah, it didn't work. So this is just our 3-stack smelter, and then we can, when we plop it down, we'll plop down another one next to it, plop down however many smelters that we need that we're running ore in at the moment. So we've done that one, and then we've done a screw pod, and we're calling them pods. That way, that's just, you know, it's a pod. It's that pod is what makes this makes screws. This will make screws at 100% efficiency, and they'll pop out right here on the line. So this starts with the feed coming in from the bottom. So that last bus that we saw, that feed will come in right here and then feed 2 constructors. And then those 2 constructors will merge and go up and split 3 ways. Boop, 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 to the 3 different constructors up top. Then those 3 all merge together, go to the back, loop back down around, and pop down into its bus. So that was a crazy one that we did way too late at night. There might be a more efficient way to do this, but we are trying to keep it in a 2x3 area as best as possible. So that one's okay because it's going to overhang the back bus, so it's not a big deal. So other than that, if you find a better way to do this, and I believe I did my math right on this, because it is the iron rods takes 15 per minute, so I can take 1 smelter and run it in here and get the 15 and 15. You're annoying. That runs 30 and 30, and then those go 10, 10, and 10 of the iron rods to the constructors, which makes 40, 40, and 40, which makes 120 per minute, and then that runs on a Mark II belt down to here. So that should be 100% efficient. And then we've kind of gone in and like added some structural looking elements. That way when we're building this, we're not having to go back and do those things. So like this one has like the big pillars right there. Once again, we have the wall here, but we don't have a wall right there because we want that top floor to be somewhat, we want those floors inside the factory to be open so we can see everything going on. And then from here, we'll run it into an assembler area, and then so on and so on as we need to. And some of these might get redesigned. Some of them might get designed in for specific efficiencies. So say I only need 60 screws a minute. I only need half of this when it comes to production. So I might redesign something to do just that. But I'll kind of figure that one out as we go along. So today, we're going to do a couple more. I want to do the 2 simpler ones. So we need the other two that we're missing, which is the steel plates and the screws. You're annoying me. Go away. So let's start with placing a couple of constructors down. Put that in the right spot? Yes. And then putting in our conveyor holes. And then this one I will make iron plate. So we actually need two sources of, we need 30 ingots per minute. So we need an individual smelter for each one of these. So this will actually produce 40 plates per minute. And then I can put conveyor hole there, conveyor hole there. These are going to be pretty simple to make. And then put my power pole. I think I've been putting my power poles right here. And then I need to color the machines. The floor we already have is colored. I believe it's swatch 9. Yep. So all those are colored. Those are configured to iron plates. And this will be an output. And then we'll need inputs. All right. And there we have another pod. Iron plates. Pod. Done. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say iron plates. Pod. And here I'll do 40 per minute. That way we know. I need to probably start doing that on a lot of things. And save. So let's go back, and I'm actually going to reload the iron plates pod because the constructors are already there. And we just have to change a couple of things to make iron rods. So first of all, obviously, we need to change this to iron rods. Now, I don't know if recipes are going to stay. I hope they do. I also need to double check and make sure that all my screws on the other one are set. And then this is going to change here, because we only need one. Okay, that should work perfectly. So it's the same output, where each one's just outputting down, but it has a different input because it requires less materials to make through two constructors. So we're going to go here, iron rods, pod, and I believe this is 30 per minute. Select the icon, parts, iron rods, select icon. Save blueprint. So we have 5 blueprints now, all basically doing what we were doing before. So let's put some of these to the test. Now I can run, so I'm running 3 right now. So one of the things I want to do possibly is kind of really put this through the test. I want to upgrade this to a Mark II. So I'll just take this down, that way I get that digital miner back. We'll let all that go through. And we're going to go through and clean a lot of this up. And I just need to transfer some stuff out. Look at this. Look at this actually like somewhat doing a decent job backing up over here. I did not make this efficient at all. Don't mind the spaghetti, that wasn't me. Alright, so I'm going to throw in my miner Mark II right here. Not going to plug it in yet or anything. Kind of letting some of this process through. I have all of this stuff currently yeeting its way out of here into those storage containers. But all of this is still processing stuff and will eventually just need to come to a halt. So this one looks like it's done. So I'll pull this line. I might just start pulling the lines anyway so we can get building. So I went back over and double checked kind of my blueprints, make sure everything was set. They in fact weren't on the screws. So I went and fixed that because that's important. Okay, so first things first is we have a Mark II miner on a pure node. That's going to give us 240 ore per minute. which means we can do 8 of the smelter pods because each one has 3 smelters. No, that's not right. That's way too many. We can do 8 smelters, which is 3 pods with 1 extra smelter. So we'll have 1 extra smelter in there. I could possibly overclock this if I wanted to make sure that I got enough to that last smelter. So I'm going to do a foundation here. Yeah, we're gonna go zoop this out a little bit. This is gonna be our ore bus, so I said 3 pods, so we're gonna hit Q. We're gonna go to blueprints. We're gonna do our smelting stack, and there it is. Look at that. It should be able to get it to snap right where I want it. It's not playing nice at the moment. I have a feeling it's the walls. It doesn't like the walls. So I'm going to take out the walls and see if that's what's causing the issue. Does that do it? I think that did it. There we go. Let's drop another couple of these smelting stacks. God, that's so nice. And super clean. I didn't configure the smelter stacks. This might be something I do, is do like an iron stack, do a copper stack. Not right for now, I just did it like this. And then I will do the feed. So it's gonna just be splitters. And this won't be perfect because that last machine is not gonna work like it's supposed to. So I'm running tier 1s out of the middle here because that's all we need for the middle, or to leave. Don't need anything over tier 1 to run into smelters at the moment, but we will need tier 3 in between all of them. Okay, so there we have the main line going into the smelters. Like I said, it's not peak efficiency, so I think I have some power slugs. I think I can pull that up to 270 and then it'll be perfect. So let's throw a... Can I do... Oh yeah, that's easy. So it's not going to overclock it too much at 112%. So I'll do 270 a minute is the target. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing with the next section of pods, depending on how we want to do this. I guess I can fit 3 different pods right now. I can fit a rod, plate pod, an iron pod, and I can fit a screw pod. But I can run way more, so I can run all of those off of 4 smelters, which means I still have 5 smelters to use to run more pods in different directions. So we're gonna go iron plates. There we go. So there's my iron plates. Do my rods. And do the screws. Oh. I did not snap in the right spot. I'm glad that you can dismantle it like that. Spaghetti Master. Oh, I guess probably because I've laid so many miles of... Now, it did save, like, these, right? Okay, good. So all I have to do now is feed certain ones to certain ones. Now this will probably have to get cleaned up over time when we start adding more and more and more, because like I don't have a ton of room here to run these belts out. But that's also another reason why we wanted to leave like this room open down here as well. That way we can run belts in different directions if we need to, and help with that. All in all, if I plug all this in, I should be making all of these base things now. I should be able to go in here and do some connecting of power between. Just like that. So here's the moment of truth. Let's see if it works. Let's just start spitting out ore, 270 per minute. Which there's going to be a little bit of a, you know, a stack up at first. Well, not a stack up, but like a production slowness until it starts filling everything up. These are all popping on. Yep, there's my constructors. There's my sheets, there's my rods, and I should be getting screws soon. That one's yellow, those are red. There's not a line between that one. So I need to fix that on the blueprint. So it looks like the iron bars are getting fed up. And that one's producing. That one's producing. That one's producing. And screws are going down. Awesome. So it looks like everything's running. Look at that. The pods thing works. Okay, that's really cool. That was super fast how we built that too. Like, once I kind of got the kinks worked out, I mean, it was just slap down, throw in the belts in between, and go. Now, we might want to add bigger bus lanes in between. That's kind of why I wanted to look at this and see how this looks. Because we might want, like, a bigger area between the smelters and, like, the construction line. Because obviously the smelters take up a lot less room. I think this will prove some very interesting build concepts and some fun challenges. I do think we need some wider gaps here. I think that'll be smart. Alright, so that kind of got that done. I think some interesting challenges would be to build a single pod like this that outputs a rotor. Some of these ones that are smaller like this is screws and iron plates. So if you can figure out how to get all of that in one, but you need so this one's actually turned down, but you need at 100%, you need 30 plates per minute. So you're honestly looking at either overclocking, which would probably be the way to do it, or spinning those plates to somewhere else. Technically, to make one of these, you need 3 constructors making. So you'll actually make 2 of these is what's going to end up happening to make it really good. You need this screw pod here, and then you need to make the 120 because it's 60 for one of those, and then you need 30 iron sheets to make one of those. So if you do 2 of these pods, well, it's like, the thing is, it's 1.5 of these pods. It's 3 constructors, and then have one of these pods, because this is a lot right here to put in a small area, and then to add another 3 constructors on top of that would be a little crazy, especially in the blueprint maker. The blueprint maker doesn't give us a ton of space when it comes to that. But what it might be good to do is create a pod specifically to make 60 iron plates. So the same size of pod here, but make it produce without overclocking. Because if I can do it without overclocking, that'd be better. And I think if I like stacked it up on top, kind of like centered like that, but centered, and then up to where it was like supported on its own level, and then ran it back down, I think that'll be a good one. And then you do that pod plus one of these pods and then run it into an assembler or a double assembler stack. Now I'm curious if I can pull this off within this episode. I think I can. Now the problem with the rotors is it only takes 100 screws per minute. So I'm making 30 rods per minute on a stack and 120 per minute, which I mean you could probably do that to where you get the right numbers. You could probably overclock one of these and get the right numbers. All right, so back to the blueprints. I think that does the job. So I need to save this as 60 a minute for use with, and then we'll do a different color here. We'll do like maybe a red that does what we need it to do. Okay, let's take all this stuff again. Let's pull the empty block back out. And then we need to do an assembler stack. And this one's going to be a double assembler, which pretty much just, it's going to take up this whole thing. So this is going to be a double stack for reinforced plates. Let's go and put reinforced plates there. Walls up to see exactly, probably 3. Eesh, that might be, nope, 3 is perfect. Alright, so that's the basic assembler setup. I need to get power to it. Let's put the power where I want it. Alright, this needs to be reinforced iron plates. And this needs to be reinforced iron plates. So half the screws need to go here, half the iron plates need to go here, which means we need to combine all the iron plates and all the screws. Well, the screws will be on one line anyways. But we'll need to combine all 3 iron plates into one and then split them after that to go into here. So finally, I need to do maybe... So this is where it's going to get a little crazy. Maybe I'll run it here. This might take some like playing around with and some finagling, but I think we'll be able to get it done fairly easily. I think that'll work. So this needs to be reinforced iron plates, assemblers, and we'll leave the empty pod there for the next time I'm messing with this. So let's see if we can throw this together. So I got 2 more pods that I've created. Well, no, well yeah, 2 more. I've created an assembler pod and I've created a construction pod specifically for plates for the assemblers. So it's a little bit, it's gonna push in, and then those 2 pods are gonna push into a single pod or of assemblers. Yes. Hopefully I got all that said right. So let's do blueprint 60 per minute. Okay. And then we're gonna do the screws. And then if I have enough room, I'd like to do... Okay, why is that not lining up with the rest of everything here? Something is causing that not to snap, and I don't know what it is. I'm assuming it had to do with the fact of this right here. So definitely having bigger buses in between, I think is going to help. And that's just going to help with belt management anyways. So that got that. Let's get power back, or let's get power to that assembler line. And then connect our lines between here. Okay, let's get all of this fed now. All right. And with that, we should have everything being built. Well, not everything. Not even everything that we had. now that is reinforced all the way up to reinforced plates. So we have all of that. And we are still on a single miner Mark II, and we're only running 8 of these smelters. We still have a 9th smelter that we can pull iron out of. Now, if you noticed, or I'll show you here in a minute, but I did run out of space, and that's why I really think having possibly 3 lanes here wide. Like I said, this is why we're checking this out. That's why we're figuring all this out. But having these 3 lane wide in the between, which we can do blueprints for as well. Like I can do it just 2 yellow for the bus, and then I can slap those down really quick too. But I'll show you how. The reason why, like I said, we wanted to leave this open is because we thought this would kind of be an issue. So for like right now, like this one's gonna have a hard time getting out. It still can, but it would have to go out and up and over and then back down, which is fine, but is not great. And theoretically, there would be 1, 2, 3, 4 more sets of smelters right here. I really think this is coming along really well. I think it looks great. We have lots of spaghetti over here still. Like I said, we're done with phase 2. I just don't want to launch it. You might see a clip of that in this episode. You might see it at the beginning of the next episode. But either way, it will pop up somewhere between episodes. Now, I will be live streaming this on Twitch either Mondays or Wednesdays. So if you feel like popping in on the live stream, I start at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So feel free to pop in, say hi on Twitch. It's Ricey Gaming on there as well. So it's the same both sides. And then if I'm not streaming Satisfactory, I'm going to be streaming Black Myth Wukong, because that's the other game I'm trying to play and get through right now. So I can't promise to show everything that we're doing on this because there's some massive projects going on, but I might show like blueprint constructions and big projects and stuff like that. We're going to put a big factory up in the sky like everybody does, and to obviously get through all the stuff that we need to get through. Also, let's see, one last thing. I've added a lot of machines, but I've also taken away a lot of machines. Curious, where are we at on power consumption? So our max consumption, if everything hits right now that's plugged in, is 700. And our max capacity is actually 1200. I don't know why. I guess one of my coal power plants is still struggling. But I can also beef up the coal power plants now that we have Mark II miners. I can double our production over there and get us up to 2400. That won't be a big deal. I'll show off the power plant at some point. It's nothing crazy. It's just coal power on water with a bunch of coal running to all of them. So I hope you will like this video. If so, make sure you put a big old thumbs up. Let me know, what do you think about my blueprints? Do you think they're good? Do you think we can make them smaller? I'm all about trying to make things as compact as possible without overlapping too much. Like we had that little bit of overlap in that one constructor, but other than that, nothing crazy. Is there certain blueprints you have found on the internet that you like? Let me know down in the comments. We'll see what all we can find and put together and figure out. And as we start preparing to get ready for our big factory in the sky, or wherever we end up putting it. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you catch me next time. Goodbye.
Phase 2 of Project Assembly completed. You have been performing more adequately under pressure and are closer than ever to saving the day. Perhaps you were the right choice for the job. Time will tell. You will now enter Phase 3 of Project Assembly. Continue as you are, and there should be no issue. For humanity. For Fix It.